Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome to Mindset Monday here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, where you get your daily dose of inspiration. And I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am so glad that you are here. Family, today's episode is all about divine timing and transformation. And sometimes, the universe, God has a way of aligning things in ways we don't fully understand, right? Well, this weekend reminded me of just that. You see, on Friday, remember Friday when we explored about the energy sensitivity and the power of prayer? Well, over the weekend, I had an experience with my aunt who we talked about on Friday that brought those lessons full circle. It's moments like these that teaches us to trust in divine timing, and even when we don't see the full picture. But before we dive into today's conversation, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, get into it, all right? It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnaomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, so before we dive into today's conversation, let's create us a nice sacred space together, all right, with a nice grounding meditation, all right? So find you a comfortable position. I want you to close your eyes if you can and take a deep breath in, an intentional deep breath in. Now exhale slowly. Now as you breathe in, imagine pure golden light surrounding you, connecting you to your highest self and divine guidance. And as you exhale, release any resistance or doubt. Now with each breath in, I want you to feel your heart center opening to receive clarity and wisdom. This light that you are breathing in is your protection, your connection to divine timing. Breathe in courage and readiness for transformation. and exhale fear and hesitation. Take one final deep breath in, knowing you are divinely guided and fully supported on your journey. And when you're ready, open your eyes, bringing this sacred energy into the rest of our time together. All right, my beautiful people, if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something that we do every day, Monday through Friday here. This weekend I was reminded of the power of divine timing and the power of prayer. During my morning altar time, I prayed for my aunt who has been facing some challenges, and something extraordinary happened. As I prayed, I felt a shift in the energy, a sensation that I first became really aware of during my Art of Living retreat. But to be very honest, I've always felt this. I've always felt like I was connected, and we talked about this Friday on how I've energetically connected to, people in my family or even just regular people, and never understood what that is. But what this energy reminded me of is her first miracle, a July day when everything changed for her. And I remember me telling you this story before, and I shared it on Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap, as well as she was a guest on there and sharing her amazing story. But in this moment of clarity, a moment where divine timing revealed itself. So I want to talk about some key lessons. I know a lot of times we do meditation here, and we don't really talk about praying, but I'm going to be very honest, and I think I said this before. I pray before I come on and record. I pray before I even have a guest on here, because in that prayer, I'm setting intentions. In my prayer, I'm setting intentions. And so in prayer, I'm going to give you a few little lessons here. In prayer, attention setting is to create a sacred space and set clear intentions on when you pray. And I'm talking about pray. And we're going to talk some more about this later on in this episode. But also what I learned about is energy sensitivity, that you need to stay attuned to the shifts and the signs in your environment. And they often hold messages. I remember the text that I sent my aunt through prayer. One was a prayer, then one was a conversation that I had with her. And I told her not to look at this as a setback, but look at this. And when I say this, I know you're like, for real, Nyomi, you keep saying, yes, I'm going to say this. Because sometimes God, spirits, the universe, whoever you believe in, is that sometimes they remove you from situations and places and they sit you down. They have to remove you. So when I tell you all that sometimes I'll be working, and then my body shuts down on me because I'm not being obedient to, first of all, what God has aligned for me and what he has my purpose in. But not only that, but I'm not being obedient to what my body is telling me what is for me to continue going. I'm not feeding it. I'm not nourishing it. I'm not doing anything with that. Does that make sense? So in the process of all of this, her body shuts down. But I tell her it's not a setback. This is another chance that you can sit down and you can truly listen to what God has for you. Because a lot of times we are in chaotic places, whether it's family home, whether it's your home, where it's at work or wherever, that you cannot hear when you are receiving a message. And sometimes we get in our own way by getting in that driver's seat. That driver's seat that we always in, and constantly keep crashing and running into buildings and not learning those lessons. But even through what my auntie went through this weekend, it was a lesson for me. It was truly a lesson for me, because I knew that in the beginning of this year that I needed to do my 9-day cleanse. And this will be a connection to not only my transformation into the year of the rebirth, but also is what new is coming to me. You know, with my 9-year cleanse journey is heighten my energy awareness in making those moments even more profound. So family, there's a difference between praying and praying. Praying, Praying, is about intention and alignment with divine.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
With a divine will, while praying, Preying, is about control. Now, trust me, I've had to learn the hard way in some of these things. And by that, I had to get out of the driver's seat and trust in divine timing and trust in what God has for me. But also, let's talk about obedience after prayer. You said, Naomi, you get ready to give us a lesson on prayer? And yes, because I'm going to give you the power of Pray on what it really is. Because I think we misuse it in so many different ways. I don't know how many times I can tell people this, and they look at me crazy when I say, if you're not going to listen and look at the signs or that God tells you, or whatever your universe or whatever that shows you, then don't waste their time. Don't be disrespectful. Don't do it. And so on today, we're going to talk a little bit about the power of Pray. And so that's why we're going to talk about the obedience after prayer. You see, when we ask for guidance, we must be willing to follow it, even if it takes us outside of our comfort zone. This is where your faith comes in. This is where your faith comes in. Now, I'm not about to be disrespectful when I say this, but all of you that go to church, that all of you that are carrying your Bibles and talk about the faith that you have in God, then understand when you say those prayers, that you're setting an intention for what it is that you want and a guidance that you want. So when you ask for that, when you ask for guidance, we must be willing to follow it, even if it's outside of our comfort zone. Because times we have to get out of our comfort zone to grow. Because guess what? We ain't growing in them comfort zones. We're not. It's about a lot of turmoil and chaotic situations and things, but we bypass that. This year is all about rebirth. So we're killing off that old version of ourselves. It's all about trusting divine guidance. True transformation happens when we surrender control and align with divine timing. I know because I've surrendered. I know it's been times that I would jump my little stinky butt back into that driver's seat real fast and something hit me. And I'd be like, oh, let me take my hand off the wheel. Because I got to remember my prayer that I asked for guidance. And when I sat at the altar on Friday, when I sat at the altar on Saturday, my prayer was for guidance. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I have another project that I've been doing for years. And I was not feeling it. I was feeling sick. I wasn't feeling it. It felt like it was no longer aligned with me. So when I went to my altar on Thursday, No, let me take that back. On Friday too, that was a part of my prayer, is asking for guidance on what I should do with this. Send me a sign, send me something. Now, I talked to you all before about when I pray and I ask for guidance, and he always send me a message through someone else. And it hit me right in the face. So on this particular project, I was getting ready to, okay, I'm going to take a break from it. But no, it showed up in my emails that no, I should continue to do it. That with your energy, what you're feeling right now, this is not your energy. This is someone else's energy. And see, and I totally forgot about that because I'm so consumed into doing my nine-day detox, getting connected, which I am spiritually. So what that does is that just heightened me. But that didn't register in my mind at all. I just kept going. And I wanted to finish the book. So I was just working, not realizing truly what I was doing. I was doing everything that I'm supposed to do, but it didn't click to me on why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, because I was very sensitive to other people's emotions. And so that's when I have to check, hold on. Remember I talk about the check in the morning? Is that me? Is that my body? Is that my energy? Right? That's what I had to do. And that's when I found out that something was going on with my aunt. But then I felt her throughout the whole entire weekend. So here's some practical tips that you can do when it comes to your daily prayer practice. Set aside some time each morning to connect with your intentions. Intention setting. We're going to talk about this next week with Dr. Will. Write down what you're seeking and trust the process. And then take steps to honor that guidance that you receive. And that's called action alignment. All right, so let's talk about this real quick about sacred protection practices. So as we navigate through the transformation, protecting our energy is very crucial. Whether it's through setting boundaries or creating sacred spaces, these practices keeps us aligned and grounded. On Friday, we talked about creating those sacred spaces on Friday and on Saturday, or Friday and Saturday. And let me tell y'all something, I have to be real honest. As I'm creating these different things and I'm doing it, but I still forget how sensitive that I am right now. When I tell y'all that my frequency is so high, it is so high. I'm gonna tell you this one story. I had this meeting with a friend of mine, and I remember before I had this meeting with them, they had popped up on my feed or something, and I'm telling you, this is it. And I was like, okay, but I'm going to sit and talk with them, and we're gonna have a conversation. Everything gonna be good. Everything gonna be all right. So I come in here, and I set up my Zoom, because I'm getting ready to have a conversation with them. And knowing that I did not cleanse myself, and whatever subconsciously that I had in my mind, it showed up for me in real time when I turned on the camera and I was green. And it's like, well, that was the camera. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't the camera. It was a visual. And I might sound crazy when I say this, because when I went and I did a prayer and I cleansed myself, I'm right here in the same room and sat back down, I had to laugh because I had to check myself. And you're like, and what's that green for, Nyomi? What was that green? That probably was a little, it ain't no probably nothing. It was a bit of envy that had seeped out that I didn't even recognize. You know how you be happy for somebody? And I'm just being very honest. You know how you be happy for somebody and you be like, yeah, you go, girl. Yeah, you go, boy. You got that. You got that. And then you got this little something in your mind like, dang, I want that too. But for mine, it showed up loud. For me, it showed up for me because you got to check. You got to make sure you check that. Even though that's not you all the time, it still showed up. And mind you, I didn't say it to anybody. I'm just saying it to you all. That person don't even know if that came up. And that person probably wouldn't even know, even if they listen to this, they wouldn't know who I'm talking about because I talked to several different people that day. But it showed up for me. And that's how I should have known, like, look, you need to do something extra. You need to do something extra. And the extra thing is we set on for Sunday, right? But everything was happening from Friday and Saturday. Let me say Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So Sunday doing some extra stuff. Yes, Sunday I got down. Sunday I was praying. I was meditating. I was in my Golden Rose room for quite some time because I had to make sure that all of this was cleansed. It was. And so here goes some key practices. Energy protection techniques. Remember, visualize a shield of light surrounding you in the morning.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
And reinforce it throughout the day. Boundary setting. Protect your physical, emotional, and energetic space by saying no to what doesn't serve you. So then I remember on that particular day, on Friday, I talked to several different people. And it was a lot of things that was going on. It was the conversation that I was having with my aunt and my family members. It was conversations that I was having with some friends. It was conversation that I was having with quite a few people. And let me tell you something, when I finished with each and every one of those conversations, I felt so heavy. So heavy. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't go take me a nice spiritual shower or spiritual bath to cleanse myself of all of that. No, I did not. I prayed before I went to bed, but then when I laid down, I could not go to bed. I'll tell y'all about that story a little later. But that was an importance for me, and I didn't do, is to set those boundaries. So even in those conversations that I was having with others, when I felt a certain way, I should have politely said, okay, this conversation was good. I will talk to you later. Because every one of the conversations that I had, when I left from that conversation, I was very drained. In a few of the conversations, I've never felt drained. Could have been me, could have. But still, I didn't do everything I needed to do to cleanse and clear myself. And then let's talk about the sacred space maintenance. We don't talk about that. But remember, I talked about you building your own sacred space. But to regular cleanse your environment by smudging in sound bowls and simple affirmations. You say, oh, I don't do that. Energy is, man, energy goes rapid. And I want you to remember, my beautiful people, your transformation can inspire and uplift those around you by protecting your energy and creating a ripple effect of positive change. So you want to make sure that you are positive when you are in front of somebody. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not losing nobody. So let's talk about divine timing and recognition. So let's kind of work together to strengthen our connections with divine timing with this step-by-step exercise. Morning check-ins. Remember, we talked about the morning check-ins. Take a moment to assess how you feel and set an intention for the day. Remember, I share with you all is that I set my intention once I open my eyes in the morning. After I do my prayer in bed, I open my eyes and I do a body check. How do I feel? And I set my intentions for the day before I even go into my prayer and meditation room. And then if you got a prayer journal, write down your intentions and any signs of guidance that you want to receive. If this is something new to you. And here's a protection protocol. Begin each day with the visualization light protection. Reinforce your boundaries throughout the day. You could say, God, I ask that you surround me with good light. Or surround me with a protective shield as I go into this world. Before I drop my baby off for school, we do a family prayer. I'm on the phone with my baby, my man. Got my baby in the car, and we have a prayer every morning before we drop her off. And we not only pray for her, but we pray for the students and the teachers in the classroom. We pray that she will show up her best self. And we pray that she is protected by all, so she won't be triggered in any kind of way, whatever that means. So, like I said, I wanted to share a story with you that went on this weekend and why I thought that this episode was important. Like I said, I myself didn't do all I needed to do to protect my energy. But as I mentioned before, I felt the shift that happened this Friday night. So after I, got off the conversation with everybody, and I told y'all I was feeling really tired and drained and just, so I figured I'm going to go to bed. I didn't take me a bath or nothing. I just I tried to go to bed. And in the process, I did fall asleep. I fell asleep, but then I was waking up by my middle child. And I woke up, and that was about 7:00. And she didn't want anything. She just missed the call. So I was like, okay. So I figured that I will be able to go back to sleep. So I went to go get me some water, came back in, laid down, and was trying to go back to sleep. And I couldn't. My body was restless. So I turned on the TV because I can still watch TV until midnight. Then after midnight, that's it. I don't watch TV until noon the next day. That is a part of my cleansing and my fasting. And so I was trying to watch TV, and then as I was falling asleep now. Now, as I'm falling asleep, I'm in a deep sleep. Before I know it, I feel someone grabbing my hands and like pulling my hands, and then another one pulling my hand. And so this moment, I'm screaming. As I scream out my scream, then my baby, he tapped me and said, "You okay?" Wakes me up out of that. So then I find I go back to sleep again. I'm asleep. At least I think I'm asleep. And I feel this tugging again. Tugging on one arm, my right arm, tugging on my left arm. And I think I'm up, because now I'm trying to get up. And as I look over, I can see the back of my man right here, of my husband. I can see his back. And I'm like, you don't see what's happening here? And I screamed again. And this time he woke up and grabbed me again. But then I was faced the other way. So I wasn't really woke. So then as I go to sleep again, this time I'm truly fighting. Now I see what I'm fighting. I see bugs on the wall. I see different kind of art scribbling. It went from something really great to something truly demonic. It just went like everything. And I was like, I was fighting in my sleep, fighting in my dreams the whole night. And this was Friday night, the whole night. Didn't know what was happening. Woke up the next morning like, wow. So then I come into the studio, because now I'm working on the book. This was on Friday night going into Saturday morning. And I get a call from my cousin, who is her grandmother is my aunt. And she is so happy. So mind you, I forgot that I went to the altar on Saturday. And when I was at the altar for about a good 30, 45 minutes because I was praying. First of all, I was asking for forgiveness because I did not cleanse myself and I not cleanse my body. And just the conversations that I was having throughout the day on Friday is that I knew a lot of those conversations I was no longer aligned with. And I should not have been involved in a lot of those conversations. That is one of the reasons why my body was so drained, because some of those conversations were no longer aligned of who and where I'm at in my life and hadn't been in a long time. But I still indulged in those conversations, if that makes sense. So in all that process, me still not knowing what's going on with my aunt, and I said I was going to give her a call or give her a text once I, get here. Once I, finish everything and I finish my morning ritual and I come down here and I start to work. And so once I did my prayer and set my intentions for the day and came down here, and I said that I was muting everybody from conversations, that I wasn't going to really pick up a phone and talk to anybody, that everybody was just going to be a few texts, and that was it, because I didn't want any energy exchange in that way, because I knew how sensitive I was because I have been fasting. All right. So I get the call and I look at it for a minute, and something said, no, pick it up and answer. And so I picked it up and answered. And in her comments, she said, we did it. We did it. And I'm like, we did what? I thought maybe we, had asked, had she was going to this place that she needed to go to, where we were fighting with her to go to. Maybe she decided that. And she said, no. She said she is no longer slurring. She is talking so well. And she is walking. They did some therapy with her today. She's walking very well this morning. She walked up the stairs and ran down the stairs, and it sent me to tears. And I was like, wow, this is yet another miracle that this beautiful woman have a testimony to tell. And when God is favored you like that, you have to pay attention and listen. You have to understand what the divine timing is and how it can be so transformative in your life. So when I look and I hear that, that's not only her testimony, and that's my testimony. And if anybody's been following this story with me and my aunt for this many years, she was, oh my God. This is you all testimony in divine timing and trip, because you have heard it and seen it. Does that make sense? It was something that I told my aunt, and I don't know if she's going to listen to this episode, but I told her that God healed her for a reason, that she is one of his disciples. And we ain't talking about strictly in the Bible, because y'all know about the Bible thing, but I'm talking about in real life. That it's time for you to go out into the world and share your testimony and stand in with your truth and your purpose is, because you will be helping so many people, so many non-believers. Because we got to remember that God is within us. And we got to remember the faith that God has given us, because he lives inside of us. So even when you make that choice, okay, I'm going to do this. That's that faith. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, family. I just wanted to share that with you at this moment, at this time. She is doing well now. She is doing well. The doctors are really surprised that this has happened. That she is just surprising doctors after doctors, but we know what it is. We know it was prayer. I want to thank for those out there who I've shared this with before that had sent me prayers for my auntie. I thank y'all so much. I truly do. I truly do. And that's how powerful our prayers and our words can be. So be careful when you use your words. Remember the 4 agreements? Agreement number one, yes, because words are magical. They are. They truly are. All right, my beautiful people, as we move into this week, I invite you to reflect on divine timing in your own life. And how has it shown up for you? And how can you lean into the trust and let go of control? As well as got some exciting announcements. Today, we have officially launched our Year of Rebirth workbook. This guide will help you to deepen your connection to these practices and support you in transformation journey. This is a 6-month workbook. So we do the first 6 months of our series topics of each topic. It's really cool. I have fun creating it. We're going to have a part 2 that's going to drop in July, but I want you to just really get into this first one. It's 100 pages of it. You take your time in doing it. And listen, I believe that, and I'm not saying it because I created it, but I believe there's a lot of great tools and things in there for you to do, but also use it. Use it. As well as stay tuned for tomorrow and Wednesday episode where we'll dive deeper into energy alignment as well as intention living. And we have some amazing guests on Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday, yes, we have an amazing guest and her story. Oh my God. Yes, she used to be a nun, y'all. Yes, and then I have a very powerful transformational letter that came from one of our listeners tomorrow. And when I say this letter put tears in my eyes and only confirmed a lot of things that have been happening this past week for me, it's all about that divine timing. I'm telling you, I am so telling you. Oh, I want you to remember, my beautiful people, transformation isn't about rushing. It's about trusting. It truly is. It's about trusting. And divine timing is always working in your favor. You just have to be willing to listen and align and take the steps forward. All right, my beautiful people. Well, until next time tomorrow, my beautiful people, my family, stay rooted in love and trust in the divine timing on this transformational, you see that? Transformational journey. That's how choked up I am right now. Have an amazing, amazing Monday. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer. Have a good one.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.